Rant summer is here. Head on over to ajsrantroom.com. We got all of your summer needs covered. From bathing suits to swim trunks, flip-flops and tote bags, towels, tanks, and muscle shirts. Oh, and you can't forget about the visors and the hats. It's lit. So head on over to ajsrantroom.com and get your summer poppin'. You won't be disappointed. It's always lit over at ajsrantroom.com. We got the best bags and accessories, our beloved Black Series. We got fresh lids for you hat lovers, fire jackets and hoodies, and of course we got you covered on the t-shirts. And introducing our first shoe line, Aloysius Germain. So get on over to ajsrantroom.com today and get to shopping. You won't be disappointed. Welcome to Friday. It's Friday. I wish I could play music on YouTube. That would be so great. But then everybody named Mama would suddenly become a DJ and want to be live streaming their whole damn set on YouTube, which I think people still do anyway, but there's probably a way around it. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Friday, Hot Rant Fridays. I don't like this background, but we're going to work with it for the show. Listen, I got all these other backgrounds. I'm trying to work with them, but my favorite one, is the one y'all see all the time. Anyway, hope everybody's good. Hope everybody is preparing for a great weekend. What happened? Oh, God. Y'all are a mess. What up, Lou? What up, Keisha? What up, Amy? Oh, man. Anyway, what up, Lynn? Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about today, and let's get started. So we have an update. Remember yesterday's story on these two getting it in at the Coldplay concert in Boston? So the CEO, Andy Byron, snuggling up to his CPO, Chief People Operations. That's the new fancy term for HR, right? Okay. So the new HR rep, I mean, I don't know, the fact that she's an HR rep makes this even worse. That's even worse. The fact that she's the head honcho of human resources for the company, and you're snuggling with your boss at a Coldplay concert. Now, of all the places y'all could have snuggled, a hotel room, a little small restaurant somewhere, y'all go to a place where there's thousands of people, cameras everywhere, the band is playing. And anyway, I went over all that yesterday, but I just think the story is so ridiculous. Anyway, so Homeboy released a statement, and he just want to let y'all know that y'all gonna stop coming for him, because he ain't got time for it. Anyway, so he says, I want to acknowledge the moment that's been circulating online and the disappointment it's caused. What was supposed to be a night of music and joy turned into a deeply personal mistake playing out on a very public stage. I want to sincerely apologize to my wife, my family, and the team at Astronomer. You deserve better from me as a partner, as a father, and as a leader. This is not who I want to be or how I want to represent the company I help build. I'm taking time to reflect, to take accountability, and to figure out the next steps personally and professionally. I ask for privacy as I navigate that process. I also want to express how troubling it is that what should have been a private moment became public without my consent. This nigga serious. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold, let me just finish reading the statement. I respect artists and entertainers, but I hope we can all think more deeply about the impact of turning someone else's life into a spectacle. As a friend once sang, I don't know this song, lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you. Did he just try to play victim here? He tried to play victim. It's Chris from Coldplay's fault for having a concert in public because that's Chris's job. He's a performer. So you went into the home of the Patriots and said, "Oh yeah, let me snuggle with my side piece right here in the middle of the concert." Um, Dingbat, you went into public with your side piece, who's also one of the top executives at your company. You did that. Chris from Coldplay didn't come into your bedroom and said, "Hey, what's going on here?" Y'all up there. Look at them. Look at them. The moment, the moment before tragedy struck. Ah, here's the bigger lesson. First of all, don't cheat. How about that? But if you're gonna do it, be smart about it. So apparently, his wife, he's married and he has two children, and apparently his wife deactivated a lot of her socials, and she removed her married name from the social she did keep up. Bro, this was stupid. This is all on you. There was no need for that last part of the sentence. Like there was no need for the I also want to express how troubling it is that what should have been a private moment became public without my consent. No, you gave consent the moment you walked into the venue with your hoe and decided to parade her around. You made it public. This is a public place. Good luck reflecting, aka trying to beg his wife, because she probably done cut up all the drawers and you probably sleeping in the guest room because these people. Oh, sorry, the guest wing, because these people got guest wing money. They not they don't have a guest house, they have a guest wing. So he's definitely in the doghouse, and he's definitely doing damage control, trying to get his family back together. Which is, I get it, you make mistakes, but don't make stupid mistakes like this. This is how you get caught up. Just stupid. Oh man, people. Well, we'll see what happens with Homeboy. So moving on. Uh, Stephen Colbert. I don't really care, but his show, his late night show has been axed. Um, why am I talking about it? Because I needed an extra 5 minutes to talk about something. That's why I'm talking about it. But then what was so funny is I don't need the 5 minutes, but since I have the graphic for this one and not the other story that I literally pulled as the commercials are going, I'm like, oh, I could talk about that. But anyway, we'll get there anyway. This anti-Trumper, pro-vaxxer dingbat, who's not funny. I'm like, hold. I'll just let's just play him announcing the cancellation of his shoot.
Oh, hey, everybody. We got a great show for you tonight. Senator Adam Schiff was my guest. We harmonized on Seven Bridges Road. What a voice. I cried. But before we start the show, I want to let you know something that I found out just last night. Next year will be our last season. The network will be ending The Late Show in May. And yeah, I share your feelings.
Okay, I was in when I lived in LA. So these audiences, a lot of them are paid, right? I used to do paid audience work when I was in LA. And you get like, well, at the time, it was like $15 an hour. It's probably, I'm sure it's more than that now. And so a lot of these people don't care. They just reacting because somebody is, standing there telling them to react. This is so fake. Nobody cares about this show.
It's not just the end of our show, but it's the end of The Late Show on CBS. I'm not being replaced. This is all just going away. And I do want to say that the folks at CBS have been great partners. I'm so grateful to the Tiffany Network for giving me this chair and this beautiful theater to call home. And of course, I'm grateful to you, the audience, who have joined us.
Yeah, I'm getting my money after this show.
Every night, in here, out there, all around the world, Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea. I'm grateful to share the stage with this band, these artists over here every night. And I am extraordinarily, deeply grateful to the 200 people who work here. We get to do this show.
I'm sad for the 200 people, because it's always, the crew who suffers the most, right? Because they're not making a lot of money. They make money, but they don't make like his money. So, listen, you're corny. You're not particularly funny. You weren't even funny on Comedy Central. I don't even know how you got this job. Late night hasn't been great. David Letterman was probably the one I liked the most. He was always funny to me. Arsenio Hall was cool too, but he was really early on. Like, so he didn't come into like the 2000s and stuff. But yeah, anyway.
We get to do this show for each other every day, all day. And I've had the pleasure and the responsibility of sharing what we do every day with you in front of this camera for the last 10 years. And let me tell you, it is a fantastic job. I wish somebody else was getting it. And it's a job that I'm looking forward to doing with this usual gang of idiots for another 10 months. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Y'all ready?
We're going to lock in.
Please. They're already looking for other jobs. They're looking for the next gig.
Y'all ready?
Let's go.
Y'all ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay. That's all I wanted to say.
Great. If it ain't Letterman, if it ain't Carson, and if it ain't Hall, then I don't really care. Those are the only late nights that I remember being really funny and fun. Those are not, maybe I'm missing some. Leno was cool, but I didn't like when they remember when, who was it? The redhead. Who was the redhead? He got the show from Leno, and then Leno went and did something else, but it didn't work out. So then Leno got him bumped out and got his job back. I didn't like that whole thing. I forgot his name. What was the redhead that lost the job? I forgot his name. But anyway, good luck, Stephen. Good luck to all the people at the people. at working on the show, all the production, all the crew, all the producers, all the writers, everybody got to eat, everybody got to work. I get it. So, but y'all all will be fine. You can put this on your resume and move on to the next gig. Now, this was one thing that I did not have. This is the I didn't even think about talking about this Barack and Michelle thing. I didn't even think about talking about the him being on the podcast with Michelle and her brother. I didn't even think about that. So I pulled this clip right quick. So I really don't know. Conan, yes, Conan. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. Yes, Conan. Yeah, I didn't like how they did Conan. Um, anyway, so I don't know. I think this is the part where they talk about their marriage because I literally pulled this as the commercial is running and I'm scrambling. I was like, wait a minute, I could talk about that. So hold. Let me make sure. Michelle? Michelle?
Wait, you guys like each other?
Oh, yeah, really, huh?
Oh wait, my bad.
Wait, you guys like each other?
Oh, yeah, really, huh?
That's so
The
nice.
rumor mill. It's my husband, y'all.
She took me back.
Now, don't start.
Oh, look at Barack all old. He like, let me find it. Don't sit too soon.
It was touch and go for a while.
It's so nice to have you both in the same room
I
together.
know.
I know, because when we aren't, folks think we're divorced.
Look,
These are the kinds of things
Yeah.
that I just miss,
Mhm.
right? So I don't
Yes.
even know this stuff's going on.
right.
And then
It's-
somebody will mention it to me, and I'm all like, what are
Yeah.
you talking about?
Yeah.
There hasn't been one moment in our marriage where I thought about quitting my man. And we've had some
My man. My man. Okay, so this is the right clip.
really hard times. So we have had a lot of fun times, a lot of adventures, and I have become a better person because of the man I'm married to.
Okay, don't make me cry now. Right at the beginning of the show.
Oh, that's sweet.
Don't let me start tearing up now.
Listen, I'm all for the love. I love the love. So let them be in love. I don't care if you're getting divorced. I don't care. Listen, when you've been married 200 years, I'm pretty sure you go through peaks and valleys. It's not all rainbows and sunshine every damn day, I'm sure. Anyway, who sounds weird, Barack or the brother? What is the brother? What is her brother's name? Do anyone know her brother's name? Um, I don't know his name, and I'll look it up. But anyway, so yeah, they're not getting divorced. Maybe there was a reason why I skipped this story. There was also another clip where he said that straight dudes should have gay friends. I don't have that clip, but I saw it circulating. um, I think he's just old, Bree. I just think he's an old man now. Um, um, here's another clip that I pulled. Actually, it's Anton reacting to something, but that they said on the show. So I don't know how this is going to go either. He sounds old, Bree. To me, at least that's what I hear.
Because
they're evaluating you.
They're
They've got the
evaluating.
little checklist.
They're
It's like,
evaluating
oh,
our
yeah.
parenting, or they're evaluating their parenting based on their own.
That's
with
that's
the
the
show.
crazy. That's the crazy thing Dad would do.
Yeah.
They,
And it so it. But this brings me back to Emma. Emma's trying to raise these boys, and so she's trying to be somewhere between forever. And then the other show that people are talking about, Adolescence, which I haven't watched yet, which it gets into sort of the misogyny that young boys are exposed to,
And the online,
the manosphere.
they're getting their parenting.
They're getting their
online.
parenting
They're getting their
from-
notions of manhood
from
extreme
Extremists.
Is it, do they have examples? Do y'all have examples?
Yeah,
Yeah.
extremists.
Like whom? Like who?
So I'm glad that they finally are paying attention to what people are saying. You know, in UX UI, I've learned in corporate America, in UX UI, I've learned that the best way for you to develop an application or to solve for a problem technology wise is to create personas based off of real life experiences, to ask people to pay attention to what is going on in the culture. And for so long, people, politicians, entertainers, all of these people have been putting on the culture what they want, which has led the culture to where it is today. And because they no longer have the impact, influence, or the ear of the people that are determining what happens in the culture, they are now bothered by it. And the fact that they are mentioning the manosphere, mentioning things that we who are in control now of what happens in a culture, and people are starting to pay attention. Now they want to start getting concerned and speaking to single mothers and having a conversation on a podcast with Obama and Michelle Obama and her brother. And they want to start talking about what men need, what boys need, how it is that they need to be moving when it comes to who is going to marry the daughters
Hmm.
or quote unquote the single mothers. The reality is that there is nothing wrong with masculinity, but for so
Hmm.
long they've been labeling it as toxic masculinity. I still remember, I don't forget because I covered it extensively, especially during this past election season. I don't forget the fact that Obama tried to scold black men, because they're talking about black boys in particular, tried to scold black men for not voting for Kamala Harris. I remember when Michelle Obama jumped on the stage
Hmm.
and said to go against your family and your household and your man and vote for Kamala Harris anyway. Masculinity is in style. It never really left. They just needed a little bit of guidance from people that needed to take the mantle.
Facts. Listen, are there extremes in the manosphere? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Um, are there idiots in the manosphere? Yes, like there's idiots everywhere, right? You got to be able to have a balance, right? But when you have no men in the home, and you have, as a young man, and having been one of these young men myself, you seek out people, you seek out men to inspire you, because you don't know, you know you're missing something, but you're like, what is it, right? and and so if they find solace in a Kevin Samuels, that's fine, right? When did being a man become the enemy of liberals, Democrats, and these crazy people on the far left? When did that become a problem? It's absolutely absurd to think that we have to teach young boys and men to grow up to be these soft, pink, overly empathetic, crying every 4 seconds. Like, we don't need that, right? Again, it's about balance. You can understand someone's perspective or empathize or hear them out. That doesn't mean you are obligated to agree, like it, understand it, accept it. You're not obligated to do any of those things. I heard you out. I still don't agree. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity for the 9,000th time. They're just toxic people, period. They happen to be feminine and masculine, male and female, and whatever else you want to call it. Toxic is toxic. Masculinity has never been toxic, just like femininity has never been toxic. It's just toxic ass people, broken people, people with a lot of problems and a lot of issues. And it has nothing to do with whether they're masculine or feminine or whatever. It has everything to do with them, the individual, and their worldview. And it's their responsibility to adapt it, change it, fix it, move on. Listen, when you have a lot of black boys getting involved in gang activity, drug activity, criminal activity, abusing women, when you have all of these problems going on, I think the manosphere is the least of your freaking problems at this point. How do you stop black women from becoming single moms? That's the conversation you should be having. When you decide to replace your moral compass with societal issues, that's where you get in trouble. Right. Because Barack and Michelle could be married for 400 years and be good in their marriage, right? Which goes up and down like any other relationship. But God forbid someone else wants that. Now they're the problem. Right. And y'all have been together forever. So why couldn't y'all why isn't what y'all are doing the bigger template in the black community? Interesting. Yeah. Because we've adopted promiscuity, we've adopted homosexuality, we've adopted all of these alternative behaviors, and have said, "Oh, well, this is actually normal because it feels good in it, and it seems right." No, I'm just throw my body out here and give it to everybody. No, you're setting yourself up for failure. Literally setting yourself up to fail. But let me get off my soapbox. That was Barack Michelle. I probably won't watch any more of that because, quite frankly, I don't find that podcast interesting, and I don't find Barack or Michelle Obama interesting anymore. But I thought that would be a good last minute situation to throw up in there. But now let's move along to our favorite racist. I should just say all around bigot. Joy Reid. So I guess she needs some attention. So she decided to go on Piers Morgan, which, you're walking into the lion's den. And she decided to no, Piers put a mirror up to a few of her contradictory moments. We'll start with playing the race card.
Away, denaturalizing. That's Idi Amin behavior. There's a black fascist that you can compare him to.
Okay, let's move on to, I want to just play a clip of when you lost your job at MSNBC. Let's watch this.
My show had value.
My show had value.
And that, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
That what I was doing had value. And
well, if it had value, would you have lost your job? Okay.
In the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. Whether it's talking about any of these issues, and yes, whether it's talking about Gaza and the fact that we as the American people have a right to object, to little babies being bombed. And I am not sorry that I stood up for those things, because those things are of God. And I'm a church girl too, and those are the things that I was taught were of God. And so I'm not sorry. I'm just proud of my show.
Now, look, you're perfectly entitled to be proud of your show. Many people enjoyed your show for many years. A lot of people at NBC were briefing that the reason was declining ratings post the election, a 47% decrease in your election, in ratings from pre-election. But you told Mark Lamont Hill on his show this.
After I said on my show that the reason Americans could relate to Ukrainians in a way that they didn't relate to Palestinians, that Ukrainians are white. And so watching white people get their schools bombed was, hit different.
Trigger what? Who's relating to Ukrainians? Oh, that must be her side. Because okay, moving on.
That hit our ratings. I mean, it definitely, we could see the loss of white viewers.
No, your show sucked, lady. Without Donald Trump in your mouth every 2 minutes, pause. Your show is nothing. You got on your show, you read whole sections of Project 2025 and all of these extreme opinions on race and culture and diversity and you're not a dumb woman. You're just annoying. And nobody wants to watch annoying 5 nights a week. Sorry to break the news to you.
From that moment that I said that. So they were like, we don't like the name calling. And also I'm a black woman. So I mean, I'm sure
Yeah, we don't like the name calling. Jeez. Could you imagine if a white man got on MSNBC and said, "You people"?
it makes him angrier, when I say things. Maybe because I am a global South person myself, I mean, as a black person, we have a different empathy toward other global South people when
Bullshit. We are not required as black people to take on other people's trauma because our ancestors were traumatized. That's bullshit. That's a choice. And then y'all sit here and act like these people fuck with black folks. They don't. Stop fooling yourselves.
they are suffering. And so we're going to come at that story from a different angle and in a different way and with different.
Does his damn shirt say the future is black and feminist? Again, Mark Lamont Hill is not stupid. He's annoying. The future is not black and feminist. If black and feminism worked, why is the black community in the shitter? Not all the black community, but enough of it to take notice. Because, black women are leading, they doing the best, they're the most educated, they're making the most money. Then why are the communities in the shit? Okay, carry on.
Different kinds of empathies. And I think that's not always received very well in the news business.
Now, Joy, I mean, look, let's be honest. I don't think you were fired after all those years because of your skin color or because
She wasn't.
you're a black woman. I think you were fired because your show just got increasingly unpopular. It happens.
I'll say it for him. Your show was whack. Nobody tuned in because they didn't care. They weren't invested in a Joy Reid. And in fact, television all across the board is down, but to find that type of show where people dial in that moment in masses, it's a rare thing these days. Not very frequent.
All the time in TV. That's why you got let go. Why play the race card?
First of all, I love the fact that your play the race card is your version of the race card. You literally are so fixated on trying to racialize conversations with me, Piers, that I find it actually quite charming.
Racialize.
Oh my God. And this is what they do. They will take what you said. You present the evidence to them. Literally, this is what you said, and then you went over here and said this. Yeah. You're playing the race card from your perspective. What?
More
It's
conversations
no,
in your
excuse me, I'm having
tenure
a
at
conversation with Mark Lamont Hill
MSNBC
that
than
you're
any
clipping bits
host
of.
in history.
All right, Mark.
Come
All right, Piers.
on.
And the
No accountability. Oop, but you got me busted. No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. We're just gonna project it back on you. You're the one racializing this conversation, even though you racialize this whole thing. But you're the one doing it.
Bottom line is you take an entire conversation that I had with Mark Lamont Hill and pick the bits that you can racialize because this is your shtick. And I get
You were talking about your show that got canceled. He's pointing out the hypocrisy and the reaction depending on where you're sitting and who you're talking to. Mm-hmm. And she knows this. This is kind of like when Byron Donalds went on her show after he said that black folks were closer and tighter during Jim Crow and the civil rights era because we had to be, right? And she took that all out of context and made it seem like he said, "Oh, black people love Jim Crow." That's not what he was saying. And even though he very well articulated what he meant, she still drove the point that it was Jim Crow. Because that's those are magic words right there. You can't say those words without acting like a baboon's ass.
that this is your
You
shtick.
racialized everything, Joy. Come on.
I get it. I understand this is your shtick, Piers. And listen, game recognized.
Oh
I get
my
this
God.
is
It's
your
not
game.
my shtick.
And the bottom line,
It was your
it
shtick.
is your shtick, and everyone
it was
knows
your
that it
shtick.
is.
Exactly.
Piers, we
And people got
understand
bored
what
with
it is.
it.
And it is so interesting to me that you yourself, as a white European,
Oh my gosh, as a white European. Didn't this get Anna Navarro in trouble yesterday? Did she get in trouble for this yesterday?
find that when people of color talk about race, that you believe is racializing conversation.
No. I talk race all the time. It's not that you talk race, it's how you talk race. You said white people stopped watching your show after you did X. But your show had been failing the whole time, so it didn't even matter about that stupid conversation on Ukraine, and which was a stupid statement to make anyway. It was a dumb statement, completely boneheaded.
But when people like you
And then to sit up here and anyway, go ahead.
fixate on, well, Barack Obama was a black president. Why don't you object to that? That is racializing a conversation about the former president of the United States. But you can't put your, and I'm sure you find that charming and funny.
I find it
You
hilarious
cannot
because
see
you're the
your
one.
own-
You're
Well,
the one
you
who said.
and your
You're
friend
the one who
Trump,
said Donald
you
Trump.
and your friend Donald
You
Trump.
said Donald
Oh my God, here we go.
You and
Trump
your
is a
friend
white
Donald Trump
fascist.
Are so. He is a well. I agree
And
with
yet
Mark
when Obama
Milley,
did the
who
same
is,
thing,
last time I checked, is
I'm not allowed
black.
to mention his
I
skin
agree
color.
with his former chief of staff, who last I checked was not black and said he's fascist. And Mark Milley said he's fascist to the core. So
Okay.
I happen to agree, and I know this is what it's important to you, with
so
two
bored.
very white gentlemen,
so
about
bored.
Donald Trump's fascist tendencies.
Okay.
If that makes you sad and uncomfortable, I can't help you.
bored.
Oh, yes, it
There's
made me
nothing
sad
I
and
can do about
uncomfortable.
it.
I think it makes you a little bit of a hypocrite, but that's different.
A little bit of a hypocrite. Shoot, that's a lot of hypocrite. Joy, stop it. You know damn well what he meant by that. And instead of you just own up to it, what do? Oh, no, that's not what happened. That's not what your eyes saw. That's not what your ears heard. That was white people cherry picking moments. Oh, like y'all do. Everyone does it. I'm sure you talked about other stuff, your dog and what you're doing next and all that stuff, but nobody cares about those parts of the interview. You sat up there and said that as a black woman, I lost white viewers because I said that people have empathy for Ukrainians because they're white. That came out of your mouth. You didn't make that up. So instead of you address what you said, you try to project onto him because he's white. And this is why nobody takes y'all seriously. This is why. It's always this. It's always somebody else's fault. You. but it ain't never you. It's always somebody else. Ma'am, you lost your job because your ratings were in the toilet. Your show was unwatchable. Just like most of MSNBC is. Let me tell y'all a quick. So back when Barack's first term, that's when I first got into like politics or whatever. And I used to watch MSNBC every day. Every day I'd be sitting there working on something and it'd just be playing. And I would watch Hardball with Chris Matthews. I forgot what Rachel Maddow's show is called. I used to watch that. There was another show I used to watch. What's his name with the glasses? The black hair with the glasses. I can't remember his name. I used to watch his show too, and it was all like pro Barack, pro Barack, pro Barack, pro Barack. Oh my God, the Republicans, all the conservatives. Oh God, a mess. Oh, those were the days. Anyway, which one is this? I don't know which one. Oh wait, is this? Oh yeah, okay. I think this is deportations. So yeah, here we go, facing the reality of deportations. With her Lord and Savior Barack Obama.
Do you know how many people Barack Obama deported in 8 years?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Well, why don't you guess?
I don't know and don't care.
Why would you not care? Why would you not care? Trump deports 5 fucking Mexicans and y'all ready to send them up the river. Well, I don't know and I don't care. That's irrelevant. It's BS. They made it up.
Hang on. You don't know and you don't care. You've just given me...
Because it's not the issue.
You're
trying to make the issue the southern border.
Joy. You've just given me... Joy.
No. The point is...
Joy.
The issue is the southern border. The issue is the criminality coming in through the southern border. The other issue, as a black person, is the replacement of black voters in the Democrat Party. That's all this is. And you will sit your ass up here and defend this to a bunch of racist fucking, because Mexicans are racist as fuck too. Did I ever tell y'all the story of when I had my last barber before I left New York City? I think it was from Colombia. He was from somewhere in South America. I think it was Chilean. Anyway, he spoke barely any English, and I spoke barely any Spanish, but we had a communication. He knew how to cut my hair well, great. And all the barbers were Hispanic. So one day I'm sitting in there, and they have like 3 TVs, and then one of the TVs has like a monkey dressed like James Brown, a monkey dressed like Michael Jackson, and a monkey dressed like, not Prince, but it was some other black entertainer. I can't remember who. And they're just, ha, 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 ha. They're just laughing and laughing and laughing. And I'm looking at this shit like, what the fuck is this? Because it's in Spanish. It's in Spanish. So I don't know what they're saying. He's like, oh, it's just funny. It's just funny. It's not, not disrespect. It's just funny. Like, just give me the fuck out of here.
Barack Obama was not dragging women and
let me finish.
nursing babies apart and taking...
Joy.
Actually, he did, Joy. How do you know that, Joy? Because y'all were busy acting like it wasn't a problem, Joy. So how do you know that, Joy?
You've just given me...
I'm sure going to tell me it's your main issue.
You've just given me...
But it's not my main issue.
Look at her. Triggered. She's triggered. She's triggered because the thought of having to take accountability sends her swinging. The thought that what Donald Trump is doing is not this exotic, brand new idea.
My main issue is that what we're seeing...
I'm trying to finish my sentence. You've just given me a lengthy monologue attacking Donald Trump's aggressive deportation policy. And I've simply said to you, there was a Democrat, a black Democrat president of the United States for 8 years. I'm simply asking, given that you're obviously all over every detail of the Trump deportation policy, and given you were on the airwaves in America on a daily basis through Obama's tenure, How many people did he deport in 8 years?
I do not know. You'll
At least she said, I don't know. At least she said, I don't know. I'll give her half a point for I don't know. But the I don't care part is what irritates me. How do you not care if it's all about these immigrants getting their due process and having having the proper accommodations and being able to be sent back wherever or to be able to get this whatever it is. Obama built the fucking cages. Y'all weren't down at the border crying about cages and women and children being separate. Y'all weren't crying about any of that. All of a sudden, Donald Trump becomes president, and it's issue number one. It's issue number one. All of a sudden, y'all are so empathetic and sympathetic, and y'all love illegal immigration. And tomorrow, Donald Trump said, I love illegal immigration. Let's let more illegals in. Y'all will be anti-immigration. That's how I know it's disingenuous. Because if you're not calling it out, no matter who president is, you are bullshitting people.
tell me I'm sure.
Have a
I'm certain.
guess.
But it's probably more than 1 million people. I'm quite certain.
Have a
because I
guess.
think each 2 million.
Right, it was 3 million.
Okay. And your point being what?
My point
What's
being,
the point?
are you as shocked by that as you are claiming to be by Trump?
No.
It is not deportations
Many of them were
themselves that are
brown.
shocking. Wait a minute. Can I answer
in
your
fact,
question?
the majority
Hold on.
were brown.
She don't want to hear that. She don't want to hear none of that. You know what she want to hear? Orange man bad. Donald Trump's the big bad wolf. Donald Trump's the problem. Donald Trump's a racist. That's all she wants to hear. She don't want to hear nothing about the actual issues, the actual facts. She don't want to hear about none of that. Because she can't hold Democrats accountable. She's a shill. She's a gatekeeper. She can't push back on Democrats in any way. Even when they're blatantly racist, even when they're blatantly bigoted, even when they're blatantly doing things wrong, she can't push back. Let her tell it. Joe Biden did everything perfect. He was the best of the best of the brightest. Here's my favorite part of the interview. When Joy oh Joy was confronted with her homophobia.
Okay. Have you watched Brokeback Mountain?
No.
Okay. I mean,
And what is the point of that?
Well, because you said I don't want to watch the two male characters in Brokeback Mountain having sex.
Okay, so what does me watching Brokeback Mountain have to do with that book, whether or not it is pornographic?
No, nothing to do with the book.
That book,
Nothing to do
that
with
is
the
a
book.
book that people can have the opportunity to read if they so choose.
No, I'm not talking about the book.
I do not understand how an organization
I'm not talking about the
can
book.
make a decision.
Bob, weave, deflect. Bob, weave, and deflect. And then hope you forget your original point so I can get out of this. He's not going to forget. Bob, weave, and deflect. You sat there, and we're going to watch the video of Moms of Liberty when you literally chastised this woman, even after she beautifully articulated why these books were not appropriate for children, and you sat there.
It is not about the movie. It is about whether or not Moms for Liberty.
I'm not talking about the book.
The organization who should make
Joy,
decisions for other
I'm not
people's
talking
children.
about the book, as
Whether
you
I
know.
watched a movie or not makes absolutely no.
Yeah, but you wrote it in a blog and shared it. All right. So you expressed your disdain for a movie, but then when Moms for Liberty says, "Hey, I don't think kids should be learning about this," and if your kid wants to learn about this, you go to Amazon and go buy the book, and you could have it at home. But it's sitting in a public library for just any child to pick up? No, not the same, Sway.
No difference.
I'm
If you
talking
see the
about
movie,
you posting on your blog that you wouldn't watch Brokeback Mountain because you don't want to see two male characters having sex. Does that make me homophobic? Probably. Most straight people cringe at the sight of two men kissing.
So if most straight people cringe at the sight of two men kissing, why would you then want to inflict that on children? Why would you then encourage that be inflicted on younger people, Joy? This is why I can't talk to these type of people, because they never answer questions.
Words not mine, Joy.
and your point is,
That maybe that makes you a bit of a hypocrite when you're taking the position of being an ally for the LGBTQ community.
Ooh, oh my God.
And actually, the best way to handle it, I would argue, is just to say, you know what? Actually, I did write that at the time. They're not my views now. I've learned, I've evolved, I've moved on. Trying to pretend even now that you didn't write it is preposterous. And I think you know
the
that.
bottom
Yeah, but what does that have to do with it? What I gotta do with that?
line is what I've said, and I will say it again, is that I take full responsibility for everything that was on that site. I'm deeply apologetic for the things that were on that site that hurt people, and I take responsibility for it because it was my site. And that's the end of that. And my views, as you know, and as I've said on television, on air, are quite different from the views that you just read. And that's the end of that.
Okay.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Her views are quite different. Now I understand, people evolve, they grow in their understanding of things. I will always give grace for that, but don't come out the gate denying it, and then he has to literally feed you the proper answer here, because you just want to scream, bob, weave, deflect, bob, weave, deflect. And Pierce is not going to let you bob, weave, and deflect. Anyway, so let's revert back to the actual conversations they were referring to with Moms of Liberty. Here's that moment.
The question I'm asking is, what is the expertise that you have and other Moms for Liberty advocates have to decide that a book, an award-winning book like All Boys Aren't Blue, isn't appropriate for students to read?
Now she's going to describe what's in All Boys Aren't Blue. She's about to describe it.
What
a tragic story of a young man who's anally raped by his adult family member. So you have incest, rape, pedophilia. Joy, you said you'd let me answer, so
Sure.
I'm going to answer
Please
for
do.
you. In what context is a strap-on dildo acceptable for public school?
Yeah. She said that. She just said that. Again, if you want to buy this and put it in your private library at home, go by all means. Have at it. By all means, do you. If you want your kids to know about these stories, you teach them in your home. You read it to them in their home. And you unpack it and you break it down for them on your private time. But this should not be in a school library.
That's my question to you. Tell me what the context around the strap-on dildo or the rape of a minor child by a teacher.
Hold on a second.
No,
wait,
we're talking about public school.
One moment.
All right.
So now you've asked me questions.
Sure.
I'm going to answer it. Okay.
Oh, this is when she had the Donald Trump wig.
Well, who is the main character? What's the name of the main character in All Boys Aren't Blue?
You're asking me right now.
You just gave me very specific information.
Oh my God. So now I have to know the name of the main character in All Boys Aren't Blue. That you literally just peeked at the read.
About this book, so you're presenting yourself as somebody expert.
It's the gentleman.
Hold on. Who's the main character in the book?
The main character is the author.
What's his name?
George, I believe, is his first name.
Because you're giving me very specific information that is.
You're asking me to remember the name of an author.
You
the
just
name of the
remembered
author
very
doesn't.
specific things.
Joy.
Here's my
We're
question.
talking about
Here's my
You
question.
didn't answer my question.
No. I'm going to answer.
Great.
Your question.
I would love to hear that.
Absolutely. Well, I'm interviewing you, and you're not interviewing me.
I don't know the name of the author, so therefore, what's in the book is invalid. what I just described is in the book is invalid because I don't know the name of the author. You see why you see why I said she's not stupid, but she's annoying? This is what I mean. This is the stupidest route you could have taken. Oh, well, you don't know the name of the author.
So let's just make sure it's a conversation, okay?
Okay, great.
So what I'm saying to you is that as you are not an expert in this book,
I don't
or
have
in-
to be
hold
an
on.
expert
No,
to know
hold
that
on a second.
You have to be an expert in a book about a child that has been violated by adults where they describe in detail sexual acts. You have to be an expert in that in order to take a stand. Bitch! Here's why I can't talk to these people, because I would literally say that to her. I ain't got the Byron Donalds temperament to talk to people like this. You have to be an expert on books on child rape to know whether children should be exposed to them or not.
those aren't appropriate for public school. I mean, come on, let's get real.
Is a full context story, as you said, of the author's experience. Why is it your
And you can take your full context motherfucking story and sell it on Amazon. And if any of these fucking weird parents want their child to read it, they can then expose their children to it. Simple solution. Because, oh, it's a full story. No shit. But in that full story, you're giving very sexually explicit details. But I have to be an expert in the story. If I'm not an expert in the story, I can't push back.
right, or a Moms for Liberty activist's right, to say that a parent who wants their child to have access to this book, which gives a personal experience of this author, why doesn't a liberal parent, for instance, or a parent of an LGBTQ kid, why don't they have a right for their child?
You have the right. What the fuck did I just say? You can buy the book. Go buy the book. Nobody's saying ban the book from the state or ban the book from the United States or it shouldn't be published. All that's being said here is you can do that on your own time. It should not be here in the public space.
To just have access to this book. Why is it your right to say they can't?
So again, we're talking about incest, rape, and pedophilia.
And each parent, no. Each parent has to decide what is appropriate for their child to read. So I want you to.
Yes, and so if I want my child to read a book that might be a bit much for the general population, you purchase that book yourself.
Answer. I'm going to ask you one more time. What is your right to tell a parent who wants their child to?
She's not telling parents they can't do it. Is she going to push back at all? Like, is she going to push back? I'm frustrated with this conversation.
Might feel seen by this story. Why don't they have the right? Why don't they have the right as a parent to say, my child can have access to this book?
If a child feels seen by this story, that means that they have been the victim of a predator. That means that they have either been raped by a family member, they've experienced
and your proof of that is what?
You just said that.
Oh my God. I can relate to the story, which means you're not relating to. Okay. I'm gonna just let it ride.
If a child feels seen by this story.
What I'm saying,
Joy,
you're now making assumptions about it.
No, but if a child has been raped, we should do a lot better than put a book on a library
Now you're literally
shelf.
creating a story behind it.
So Joy Reid is full of shit here. And Moms of Liberty, Tiffany Justice, you're not the one to take this interview. Exactly. Exactly. Because her answer should have been, nobody said that your ugly ass gay child can't go get the book from Barnes and Nobles or from Amazon or from a local bookstore, from a used bookstore, or from the local library for that matter. Nobody said that couldn't happen. They're not saying ban these books outright. Oh, you can't cross the state lines with the book. We're going to arrest you. That's y'all bullshit mentality. And I wish Tiffany had the skill set to properly push back on this mongrel.
A child that you don't know. Let me show you a form. This is a form that can be obtained in Broward County, Florida.
Okay.
I'm going to show it to the audience, and then I'm going to show it to you. Okay. This is called
Can
the
I see it?
opt. Yeah, please. I'm going to hand it to you.
Thank you so much.
It's called the opt-out form.
Okay.
An opt-out form would allow any parent, because you said you are in favor of parental rights.
I am.
It would allow any parent to opt out of their child being able to take books out of the library without their parents' permission.
Okay.
So that Moms for Liberty, why not advocate that every school in America have an opt-out form so that a parent who doesn't want their child to access a book like All Boys Aren't Blue,
Right.
that they can make that choice, because then each parent, including a liberal parent, a black parent, a parent who wants their child to read a book about African American history, then they get their
we want
rights.
children to read books.
Why
about
not just
African-American
opt
history,
out
so.
for yourself rather than tell other parents what they can and cannot?
First
have
of
their
all,
children
I
read?
think what you're talking about here is a wonderful step in the right direction. We should be having conversations about this. This is about local control. A lot of these decisions are made at the local school board level. And that's where these decisions should be made. And there should be vibrant conversations about what's happening in our public schools and what kids have access to. Joy, however, maybe we could just put all the books with all the graphic sexual content, the dildos, the rape, the incest.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. Let's do a back room.
Excuse me.
Let's put a curtain up in the library
First
like
of all,
they used
hold
to
on.
do
One moment.
in the video stores. Remember when we were little and you would go to the video store?
The books that Moms for
and they
Liberty.
put those
The
books,
books that Moms for
videos
Liberty.
with pornography.
I know that you. I've seen.
We could just do that in
I
the
have
public
seen
library.
tapes
Oh
of
my
what
God.
Moms
Does
for
that
Liberty
sound
does,
appropriate?
and you all go into school board meetings
Joy,
and you
this
read
is a
graphic stuff.
disingenuous conversation.
No, it's not.
There's America used to understand that there was something called age-appropriate content.
Right, and here's my
We have
question again.
ratings on movies.
Again. Ruby Bridges goes to school.
Oh my God. Yes, you have to read the content, right? To know what kids are possibly being exposed to, right? But no, we don't want to have that conversation. We just want to have the feelings, the emotions. Yeah, opt out, don't opt out. How about the book is just not there? If you want the book, go buy it or go check it out at your local library. I'm so bored. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Check out Trifecta Hour. Tonight is our 100th episode. That's tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube. That is Trifecta Hour, right here on YouTube. I didn't put the graphic in the thing. That's what happens when you don't have a producer. Anyway, where did she get the two? You know what? Anyway, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. Appreciate the support. Thank you so much. And if you want to support the channel, you can go to ajsrantroom.com. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. Have a great weekend. I will catch you guys on Monday. Peace.